I recently found out that my sister is actually my biological mother. I'm 19. My older sister, we'll call her Rose, is 34. Since my early childhood, we've been raised in a wonderful foster family with whom we had a great relationship, and Rose always took care of me. I grew up in a warm and loving environment, but as far as I knew, I just got lucky. I was told a story that our parents were junkies who didn't care about us at all. They never fed us properly and often left us for several days with other junkie friends while they went out partying. When my mom was pregnant with me, she had every bad habit. Luckily, I turned out pretty normal. When I was born, the only person who cared for me was my sister. When I was 2 months old, our parents abandoned us in a shopping mall and just left. An elderly couple helped us. They later became our foster family. They called the police, but our parents weren't at home, and the place looked like a homeless squat. We never saw them again. A few months later, after staying in a shelter, that same couple, who had helped us all along, decided to adopt us. Now I'm 19 and Rose is 34. I still live with my foster parents, and my sister lives about 20 minutes away, so I visit her at least 3 or 4 times a week. A few months ago, my friend suggested I take a DNA test to learn more about my roots, since my sister rarely spoke about our parents. When the results came, I found some interesting details. For example, I'm 50% Ashkenazi Jewish. Later, I learned that I had an aunt in the system, 33 years old, whom I had never heard of. I immediately contacted her, we'll call her Janet, and we agreed to meet in person. I did all this without Rose knowing. When we met, I immediately noticed the similarities, the same hair and eye color. We started figuring things out, and I asked her if she had a brother or sister. She told me that when she was 13, her sister got pregnant by her boyfriend Narek at some drunken party, and a month after giving birth, she ran away with the baby after a big fight with her parents. They never found her. After a year and a half, they stopped looking. I put 2 and 2 together, asked to see a photo, and we went to her parents' house. Her mother wasn't home, and her father had died 3 years ago. When I saw the photo, everything became clear. It was 100% Rose. Rose is my mother. We were never abandoned. Our parents weren't drug addicts. She made up the whole story for me and our foster family. I immediately hugged Janet and told her this was too much for me right now, asking her to keep it secret for the time being. Then I went to my best friend's house and told him everything. I've been staying at his place for a week now. I told my parents and sister that I was just hanging out at my friend's because he bought a new game we'd been wanting for a long time, and since then I've avoided talking to Rose. Right now, I can't even look her in the eyes, let alone admit that I know the truth. What the hell should I do? How should I handle this? Should I tell her that I know everything? Edit. My best friend took me to the movies and for a few drinks, though I'm not really drunk right now. Huge thanks to everyone for your kind words. They've helped me make sense of the situation. I decided that I'll tell Rose everything this week, but I still need to think about how exactly to do it. I don't know whether to ease her into the conversation or just lay it all out at once. I even thought about inviting her sister to the talk, but I'm afraid that would only make Rose angrier. I'll keep you updated once I decide how to tell her. After seeing some comments asking about the adoption process, I want to clarify a few things. First, the adoption wasn't instant. Between the moment that kind couple found us at the mall and the official adoption, about a year passed. During that time, we stayed in a shelter. Rose kept in touch with the couple, and they visited us once or twice a week. At least, that's what I was told. But now I'm not sure what to believe. In the end, Rose tearfully told them she hated the shelter and couldn't bear the thought of her little brother, me, growing up there. That's when the couple decided to try to adopt us, hired lawyers, and after a few months, everything became legal and official. At least that's what I was told. I think my foster parents didn't know the truth, though if they did, then maybe this story is also a lie. First update. First of all, I want to thank everyone for your responses. They helped me sort out my feelings and prepare to talk to Rose. So, after a week of avoiding her, I suddenly showed up at her house with a picnic basket to finally talk. She was happy to see me, but I immediately asked her to sit down because we needed to have a serious conversation. I started by saying that I knew about the secret she had been keeping from me for many years. Her face instantly turned red, and she burst into tears. She immediately understood what I was talking about. I told her about the DNA test, about Janet, and basically the whole story I shared with you in my last post. After calming down a bit, Rose finally told me the truth. She admitted that she had gotten drunk at a party and slept with some jerk who did nothing but smoke all day. He didn't care about the baby at all. He just said, "Well, whatever, I don't care." As it turned out, about 10 years ago, he was stabbed in prison, where he ended up for drug trafficking, assault, and armed robbery. She told me how her mother constantly tried to convince her father to talk her out of keeping the baby, and her parents regularly argued with her over it. When I was born, her parents told her right in the hospital that she had disgraced the whole family and that they weren't going to help her with the baby. That meant she would have to work and earn money for both of us on her own. After a couple of months living off friends' loans and endless attempts to juggle work with caring for me, she had a big fight with her parents, telling them that if they didn't want to help financially or in any way, then she and I would be better off without them. After that, they sent her to her room, but at night she ran away, hitchhiked to a neighboring country, and by morning she was there. For several days, she tried to take care of me herself, staying in an abandoned house where homeless people sometimes slept. When I started crying, she took me to a shopping mall where she began crying too. That's when the couple who later adopted us approached and asked if we had lost our mom. Rose immediately seized the opportunity and made up a story and a fake name. The police couldn't find us in the system. We spent about a year and a half in the shelter until that same couple decided to do everything they could to adopt both of us so we wouldn't be separated. The process took several months and required lawyers' help, but in the end it worked. Rose knew her parents had been looking for her the whole time. They realized what they'd done about a day after she ran away. She wrote them a letter saying she was fine, that she was taking care of herself and me, wasn't homeless, and had found good people who were helping her. She made it clear she wasn't coming back and asked them to stop looking. A month later, they stopped searching. Several years later, her father secretly started looking for her again. By then, she was already 18. After a long time, he found her and apologized. Eventually, Rose forgave him and began secretly staying in touch with him. He even met me several times. I knew him as Rose's old friend from the park. He even helped us sometimes. And as it turns out, they secretly met about once every 2 months. Ironically, I'm glad I got to meet my grandfather before he died, even if I didn't know who he really was at the time. By the way, our foster family didn't know any of this. After hearing her story, I said we had missed out on a lot because I didn't know she was my mother. I added that I understood her and that she had done the right thing. Then I took out a sign from the basket that said, "It's a boy," along with treats for a belated birthday celebration. We hugged for about an hour, had a great time, watched a movie, and then I went to have dinner with my foster parents. I'm glad she's my mom. For the first time in many years, I feel truly whole. I don't care that she lied. She did it for our good. And I honestly can't imagine my life if she had done otherwise. Thank you for helping me sort through my feelings and deal with everything that happened. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Watch our previous videos, which you can see right here. Be sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And of course, good luck.